Welcome to my channel. It's Emma. Thank you guys for being here. It's my first video. This is very long awaited. If you guys are close to me, then you've known that I have started this channel probably like 6 times in my life and immediately shut it down when the world found out about it, but I finally decided that it's time. I am super excited to go on this journey with you humans. I did my everyday foundation routine. Of course, I will have a video coming up with brows, also everyday eyes, things like that, so you guys can figure out how to get ready for work super easy, still looking completely full glam. So, jumping into our everyday makeup tutorial slash foundation. First, what we start with is skincare, which I can do another video on skincare if you guys want to see that. But for right now, I'll kind of skip that part, but definitely make sure you moisturize. I have super dry skin, so I definitely recommend moisturizing, because otherwise it's going to be very bad. So I'm out of the full size one, so I have this to show you guys, but this is what I like to moisturize with right before I start my makeup. Right now, because I'm out of it, and this is my travel size one, I've been using Cetaphil. It works just fine. I just do that a little bit with more time before I actually do my makeup to make sure that it's not weird. But this is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. So once you start your makeup, you're going to take just a little bit of this. I'm super out. But anyway, wherever you get the driest, which for me is right around the center of my face, you're just going to apply some of that. Just so that you don't have that cracking and stuff in your makeup, because that's not good. Once you go ahead and moisturize your face, unless you have oily skin, then do whatever you do. Then you're going to prime. I have been going through a couple different ones. If my face is not super horribly dry, the one I've been running to is the Master Prime Blur and Smooth by Maybelline. Right now my skin is extra dry though, so I'm not going to use this one. It doesn't bring out dryness in your skin necessarily, but if you have definitely like textured areas, just because it is a more like matte primer, it doesn't really help that. So instead, I have a couple of little size ones, but these are ones I go between when my skin's really bad. They're either the Smashbox Photo Finish. Is it just Photo Finish and Radiance? Yeah, I think so. Either this one or the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance Base. I believe this is the pink one. They have pink and yellow. I've used both. I don't think there's really a difference except for the undertones. So I prefer pink, but they both do the same. This is what I'm going to use today just because it's a little bit more moisturizing. Smashbox just makes it look a little bit better, I guess. So it's like really dry days, little bit dry days, and then fine days. I can use the Maybelline one. Stop fighting. So we're going to start with, like I said, the MAC Prep and Prime. So all we're going to do is just squirt, yeah, like a pea-sized, a fat pea-sized amount onto our finger. I just tap it between my 2 fingers like that. And then I start in that most dry area because I wear glasses, so that's where it's going to come off the most. And then anywhere where I know that my makeup could crease, like my smile line. And then anywhere where I know it kind of just wears off throughout the day or is going to be a problem area, I just kind of want to smooth that out. I like this though because it's not tacky, it's just really moisturizing, which is good when you have dry skin. So now that our face is primed and everything like that, now we can actually get started. But with that, we start with our foundation, which is the best foundation, the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. It has SPF 15. I'm an NW13. I've used this since high school, and I've probably gone through like 50 bottles of it. Like, it's a problem. Basically, I do 1 pump, and then I put it on each quadrant of my face. Then basically with my fingers, obviously clean your hands, but I just kind of take my middle fingers, smear it around. Then we're going to go in with a beauty sponge, the Real Technique one, and you just kind of wipe the extra onto your sponge, get it off your fingers so you don't mess everything up in the world. So you're going to take the sponge, and I always start on my forehead. It really doesn't matter. Make sure you wet the sponge. This one is not as wet as I want it to be, but it's going to have to work. And make sure that you always blend it down your neck because you don't want people to see that you're a fraud. So blend it everywhere. Once it is completely blended and you don't have any like blank spots, they look pretty ghostly, it's pretty good. Then you're going to go in with concealer. I can't use anything other than Shape Tape. So the Tarte Shape Tape, my color is Fair Beige. So with the Shape Tape, it's a brand new one, bless. Open it up, that's what it looks like inside. You're going to start with triangles under your eyes. So it's going to come down to the tip of your nose, or like not the tip, but the bridge, I guess, of your nose. You're going to bring it all the way up to that like crease of your eye. This is the part you want to conceal and mostly brighten. You always want to get a concealer that's like probably at least 2 shades lighter than you are, so that it'll cancel out any of that darkness, and also not just cancel it out and be the same color as your foundation and just like thicker and goopy, but it's actually going to brighten that, and it's going to bring that part of your face outwards so that you look like you got a little bit more going on, you know? It's that fraud we were talking about. We're going to go back in right between our brows. It's like where it starts looking like war paint. It's really good. So then you got the war paint going on you. Bring it down the nose. I do like a little triangle on my chin. And you're going to come here underneath your cheekbone so that it automatically helps you contour once that's all going. So once you have all of this streaked across your face and you look like you're ready to go to war, I always start from the bottom down and I leave the eyes until last because they're the largest section. So I'm not worried about them drying out. And so you're just going to stipple it. And then you get over here, you're going to kind of stipple it but also bring it downwards. You don't want to move that product up. You want to keep that line you've created so that it will help you contour later. We're going to come down our nose because that's the next smallest section of concealer on our face. And then blend that up over the first arch of your brow. Then you're going to come to the eye. You're going to start at the very bottom, work up, back down, and then out. Because you want the highest concentration right here in the middle. So, now that we have all of that carved out, it's time to secure that, make sure it's not going anywhere or creasing, anything like that. So, what we are going to do, I have 2 that I usually go between. Usually use them together unless I'm lazy. This one I have to use for baking no matter what. If you don't know what baking is, probably do, but if you don't, it is where you put an extraordinary amount of powder on whatever part of your face where it's like globbed everywhere, okay? You're going to leave it there, seconds, minutes, whatever you want to do with your life. Then you're going to dust it away, and it basically like solidifies anything you want on your face. It's going to last like 12 years. It's never going to move. And it's like how you like jump in pools and it's still there. It's sickening, right? That's just necessary for me because I wear so much fucking makeup. So this is necessary. It is, I don't know actually what brand this is, it's bad, but it's Airspun Loose Face Powder, Translucent Extra Coverage. So, set your eyes. You're going to use a loose Airspun powder. With the loose Airspun powder, I set my face with that. Then the rest of my face, I'm going to use Rimmel Stay Matte, also in translucent. I just use this for all over my face because I don't want to run out of my loose powder. But if I'm in a hurry or something like that, then I'm just going to use this for everything because I'm lazy. So you're going to retake your sponge. You're going to make sure there's no lines under your eyes. You're going to go in with the same sponge into your powder, directly apply it. Then you're going to grab more. You're going to put it on your smile lines. Coat it in there like you got a mustache. It should look really good. And then for me, I have issues with it creasing around my nose, so I take this and then just press it in that crease. So, that is all you're doing with the loose powder. What I do while I let it sit, because I am too impatient to just like sit there and let my face bake. So while it's going the rest of my face, I go ahead and set with the Stay Matte powder. For that, you can take any big, dense, fluffy brush. So the difference between this brush and this brush, right? They're both powder brushes technically. This one's just a lot looser. So I don't use that for things like this where I'm packing stuff on. This one's super, super dense. I bought it at Icing. I was like 15 years old. So it's disgusting and I shouldn't have it anymore. I don't even know what it's called or what brand it's from, except for I think it says Pro Power powder. But it's great. You can find pretty much any brush will do this. Large kabuki type brushes. So I just kind of swirl it around in there. Dab over the forehead. Then I'm going to come underneath the cheekbones, kind of in that bronzer area, right under a triangle. And then around. And just set the perimeter of the face. Make sure you're just like patting it in. You're not swiping anything. Right now you're dealing with the wet product meeting the powder. And at that moment, if you like swirl stuff around, you're going to have a war on your face. So you don't want to do that. Just tap it in. Let them marry. Once everything's set, then that's when you can start getting crazy. Not right now. Once we have that set, we're going to kind of dab it on our eye area. And then around where we set the baking powder to kind of get that off. Once your face is done and it is set, you can go ahead and put that away. Now we have a super blank face, so we need to kind of carve that out, make a dimension. And just excuse that I don't have my brows on in this video. I'll do a whole nother video surrounding my brows, other ones where my brows are on. This video is just mainly to show you guys the foundation. But basically, I'm going to take my Beat to Hell bronzer. You're just going to quickly go underneath your cheekbones. You're going to come up around the perimeters of your forehead to bring that in. Unless you have like a tiny forehead, then obviously don't, but your girl needs help. I also fill it into my hairline so that it looks like I'm tanner and then this lightness is popping through when really that's just my paleness. Then you're going to take it along your jawbone. First you're going to take your beauty sponge again, with the extra powder on it, and you're going to go back over that line just to sharpen up that contour. Also back down the bridge of your nose. To do that, you're going to take your powder brush one more time. Put cat hair in it, it's very fancy. You're going to just blend that bronzer in with the rest of your face. Make sure that there's no harsh lines. Once you are all blended, then you're pretty much done. The only thing left is just to put a little bit of color in your face. I start with a highlighter after my bronzer, and I'm just going to tap that over all the highest points of my cheeks. Once you get the cheeks, that's usually where I leave it at. And even before I do my brows usually, like I'm going to show you everything up until brows pretty much. I take a little bit more and I go to where I know I'm going to draw the arch of my brow. So not where like my natural arch is because that's a joke, but right over where I know I'm going to build that arch. Once you're glowing everywhere. Duh. Then we're going to take our blush. You can use any blush. This is my favorite one. It is the NYX blush in Pinch. And I'm just going to kind of wipe that over my cheek, blending that highlight in with the contour so that I don't have any weird lines. Just kind of fuse it all together. Then at this point, I would set my face a little bit just so it's not so powdery. And then I would go into my brows. So I will brush my brows so that they kind of look less trash. The Master Fix Maybelline Long Lasting Setting Spray. I also really like Urban Decay All Nighter. I just currently do not have it. When you spray, don't just spray it on your face. I usually keep, like, I don't know, 6-7 inches away from my face, and you spray it out and down. So you're going to spray out, down. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching my first video. I'm sorry that I don't have eyes on or eyebrows, but I felt like this was enough content for one video. So this is this, but I will have other videos coming up soon, and I will have a schedule for posting and things like that for y'all as well. I do appreciate you watching. If you would be so kind to like below and also subscribe, that would be awesome. I look forward to growing with you humans. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in our next video.